Let's go to the money desk now, and Devin Murugan, good evening to you. The Finance Minister Tito Mboweni gearing up to deliver his emergency budget, which I think is on the 24th of June. Today he was warning about the way we allocate money won't be the same as before. Tell us more.
Indeed, Sally. Good evening. We're no longer as rich as we thought we were, and the country is in a desperate situation, so things have to change. We need to adapt, says the Finance Minister. Now, this is all coming because of our new circumstances that we're in. The country is in a recession, tax revenue is weak. It's time, says the Finance Minister, to adapt to the new situation. South Africa can expect a big change, as you say, Sally, in the budgeting process going forward. Mboweni has asked government departments to get used to what he calls zero-based budgeting, and that's when all expenses must be justified for each new period. Budgets are then built around what is needed for the coming period, regardless of whether each budget is now higher or lower than the previous one. Let's listen to the Minister.
We must not always assume that the baseline of last year will always be the way forward. We must start from scratch, prioritize infrastructure, growth enhancing, try and reduce all expenditure which is not required, but which we thought we could afford, and yet we can't afford. And in conclusion, this zero-based budgeting system will also go very well hand in glove with the district development framework which the President has put in place, so that we focus more attention on where the people are and supporting economic activity and the lives of our people.
All right, Devin, so how far will this sort of new way of budgeting, the zero budgeting, essentially just having to justify everything that you want to spend, how far is that going to go towards saving our shrinking government coffers?
Well, it has to. It will cut much wasteful spending we've been doing of late. That's according to analyst Sally. We have this ballooning debt to GDP ratio and the growing budget deficit, and that's the difference between the revenue we collect and the money we spend. So economist Safiso Skenjana says it will save the country billions of rands. He explains how.
In traditional budgeting models, what you often see is, people want budget on previous year's numbers, and also it's the use it or lose it budgeting approach in essence. And so you see towards the financial year end, everyone's scrambling to spend their budget so that they don't lose it. That results in a lot of fruitless expenditure. If you move towards the zero-based budgeting approach, in essence, you have to pitch for all the expenditure items that are on your budget. And so for all your infrastructure projects, you've got to be able to justify that this is a necessary item in that particular budget for that particular year. And that's certainly, I think, a progressive move towards ensuring that we reduce the fruitless expenditure that we have often seen both at provincial and local government.
And what a week it's been for our rand, a real roller coaster, Devin. Big gains and then sharp losses.
That was exactly that, Sally. It's all got to do with those remarks from the U.S. Central Bank earlier in the week. What has the U.S. got to do with the rand? Well, there was a forecast that the U.S. economy will shrink by 6.5%. That's the world's biggest economy. So it gave many investors globally a bit of a reality check, Sally, on the effects and the impact of COVID-19. And what happens there? They become less willing to indulge in riskier stocks and currencies, and the rand is among those, so back above 17 rand for the US dollar as they played their game. But the all-share this afternoon, Sally, closing in the positive. Here's a closer look at the numbers.